Right, this is homebrew number 2. I'm doing, after my first exceedingly good IPA, I'm going to do another one. See if I can get the same results. It's Galaxy hops in it. I have all my equipment over here. Got my stainless steel measuring jug. Got my mash tun all cleaned out and ready. Have the boiler behind it. That's just boiling away there, and it has, open this without burning myself. I've got 22.5 grams of gypsum in there, as per my recommended guidelines, which is 2.8 grams per gallon. There's the goldfish. So I've been cleaning with detergent all the things that I'm going to sterilise and sanitise later on with the Star San. And so everything is clean. I'm well prepared. I've got my make do mop on the floor. The family's all out of the kitchen. The doors are all shut because it's going to stink in here in a minute, and the windows open. And outside I've even got my, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got my water chiller ready, all taped up to the water hose. So that's it. And there's my kit, Exceedingly Good IPA Galaxy. And here's the bottles. Now, let's get cracking on with it. Okay, so my water's nearly boiling. I'm gonna just check now. With the lid on, just going to check what the temperature is coming up to, and I'll do a double reading after I take the lid off, just to make sure that I'm not measuring incorrectly with the steam that's gone inside. I'm looking for, I think it is 70, oh no, green, 67. So we are at 70 degrees now. I reckon I'll leave it to get to 80, so that when I add the mash, the water into the mash tun and then the mash kit in, it'll probably bring it down, I'd say about 10 degrees at least. That'll be 70, maybe even as low as 67. If I have to, I'll add a tiny bit of colder water. But we're up to, looks like 72. Just pop that in there, keep it safe. And I'm sterilising everything now, everything that I can do to have it out the way, with my Star San, my 5 gallons of water, around 1 ounce of Star San. So that's another little job out the way. I haven't really had to do anything. I'm just waiting for the boil. I can sort of mill around, do what I want, which was not the case last time I started brewing beer. That's it. Let's have a look at this copper manifold. Slips in and out of here really nicely, and the slits on the back are really nicely done. They've gone a little bit grey since the first mash. Maybe I ought to clean them, I don't know. But anyway, sure, that's it. And that's my crazy son. Say hello, Ben, because people are going to see us. Say hello, don't be a fool. And show them what your t-shirt says. P is for
Puka.
Puka, which is
Ghost.
Oh, what does Daddy say?
The death notices are no.
Are on.
Are no. Or on.
Yeah, sure. Right, so the water's 80 degrees now in my boiler, and I'm just going to add in 12 litres into the mash tun, and see if we can not make too much of a mess while I'm at it. This is shut, I presume. Yeah. 2, 4. Got my mash tun very close to the boiler, so that's handy. 6. this will be mashed for 1 hour, and then I've got to top it up with 8 litres after an hour at 80 degrees. I'm not quite sure why that is, but I'll start adding in the gravy. I guess I should have had this ready actually. Yeah, missed. Okay, could have had this open. That's another step that could have reduced the time in what I'm doing, but it's no big deal. There's the waffle lock tab. There's my 3 bags of hops. And I'm going to add in, and that all went in fairly fast. And there's that wonderful smell. Sure, I'm going to give it a good stir anyway. And the next time I do that, I'm going to do it a little bit more careful. I'm going to have the bag ready. Now let's see what I've got. So that's the mash. It's fairly thick at the minute because it's got 12 litres in it only. And then after an hour, it's to be topped up with another 8 litres at 80 degrees, mix well and leave for 15 minutes. And then I do my first lauter, and that'll be it. The smell is absolutely amazing, as I'm sure you all know. I don't feel any lumps in here at all. There's no lumps at all. This is good. And that's it. And that's my boiler just going with the new kettle boiler in the back of it, because the first one I got, the fitting in the back of the boiler was loose. Sent it back and they gave me an even better one, which is good. So that's done. I'm going to take a reading now, and let's just see if I'm anywhere near 67 degrees. 40, 50, 58, 60, I'm just filming, Ben, okay? 64, shush Ben, please, I'm asking you.
Okay.
Right, 65, and I'm hoping for another 2 degrees would be absolutely spot on. More luck than anything. Let's do somewhere else. We're at 66, 67 degrees, and that is precisely exactly what I was aiming for. Is that good, Ben?
Yeah.
Do you not like the smell, no?
No, I don't like the smell.
What does it smell like to you? Does it smell like breakfast at all, or
It smells like
porridge or something?
Yeah, but it has been melted and spit with diarrhea and been in a bucket for like 6 days. That's what it smells like.
Diarrhea, you heard it. Right, it's been an hour, and the mash has just been steeping away, and just to add another 8 litres of water in at 80 degrees. I've got the water boiled up. I just did it 15 minutes ago. It's a little bit high. It's reading more along the lines of 90 degrees, but again, I'm guessing that if I put it in at 90 degrees, it comes back down. It'll bring the mash down to 80 degrees, or even lower. In fact, it is definitely 90 degrees. It might be a little bit too hot. I'm not sure if that's a good idea to add that just yet, but I'm gonna add it anyway. So I might add it from a bit of a height. Get rid of some of that. That's not for show, that's for hopefully to get rid of some of the heat, even if it gets rid of a couple of degrees. So that's for another 2, and then another 3 I think, and then I'm going to add a litre of cold water instead. That'll do. Right, that's 2.8, okay, 1.2, and I'm going to add the rest as in cold water. I don't want it too hot. I don't think it would be too clever to make the mash too hot. So I'm going to give it another stir now and give it 15 minutes, and then I'm going to do my first drain off and then lauter it. Let's just check the temperature whilst I'm here. See, is it back to 67? It's going up fairly fast. It's at 60 already. 65, 67. It's looking more like it's going to be 70 degrees.
Bath and wash my hair, this Kieran.
69, 70 degrees. And here's Kieran. Right, so this is my first drain. Just take out probably 3 or 4 litres slowly and create the grain bed. Looks fairly murky at the minute, but there's not too much grain coming through. Kieran from up the road has joined me to sample some of my first home brew. Beautiful. He's looking through, what was that, sorry?
Beautiful.
He's looking through Reuben Gray's Bure catalogue and stealing away some of me good beer. And sure, that's it now. Okay, so I've done my first drain and lautered off approximately 20 pints so far, and that's gone into 20 litres. That's gone into my boiler with my 60 minutes addition of hops. I'm guessing the hops is Galaxy, but I need to find out more about that. And I put the lid on. So this is a batch sparge I'm doing, so now I'm going to add another 8 litres here into my mash tun, and then give that 15 minutes, stir that up, give it 15 minutes, and then do my second drain and continue with the boil and add in my second and third addition of hops. I get a 60-minute hops, a 15 minutes and a 0 minutes, and we're just having a sample of the first home brew still, and sure, that's it. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes boiling now, and I'm adding my second batch of hops, which is to go in 15 minutes before the end. And in 5 minutes time as well, I'm going to add in the wort chiller to boil the wort chiller to sterilise it. And then I've just got one more bag of hops to add in at 0 minutes. So that'll be the next one to go in. And I've cleaned up everything, I've nothing to do. Sure, that's it. Okay, so we've been boiling for 55 minutes now. 5 minutes ago I put in my wort chiller to get a good old sterilisation. We've got 5 minutes to go. It's looking good, smelling great. All of my sterilisation kit is here, fermenter and tubes. I'm going to pass it through a sieve just to make sure I've got nothing in there, and I'm adding my Wolflock tablet. Probably should have done that 5 minutes ago actually, but I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. I'm going to give that a stir, and maybe I'll give it just a few minutes longer just to let that get to work, coagulate all the protein, whatever it needs to do. And then we're going to chill it down to 20, about 22, and then take the hydrometer reading and put it away in the corner with the bubbler and see what happens with the beer. Okay, so we've had an hour and we've added 2 batches of hops, and this is my 0 minutes hops. I've added the Warfalock. I can see it's gone clear already, there's lumps of protein floating about. And we've got the wort chiller in, which is now being sterilised by the boiling water. Smells good. And I'm just going to add in the last bit of this. Do that in a sec. And then somehow I've got to manoeuvre this from there to over to there, but the handles on this are becoming softer because it's boiling hot. So that's something that I want to work on for the next brew. Maybe I want to have it there to start with. That would have saved me a lot of trouble in the beginning. But sure, you live and learn, and everything else has gone perfectly right. Here's my makeshift connection to the wort chiller, and that's it now. I'll be chilling it down, get it down to about 22 hopefully. Right, so I've chilled down the worts now to 22 degrees with the wort chiller. Took me about 15 minutes, maybe a bit less. I used a whisk, which I'd used dipped into the Star San tank, and a thermometer to check the temperature. This is my final fermentation vessel, my first primary fermentation vessel, I should say. And everything else is ready to go. I'm just going to dip this one in Star San and drain off about 1 litre here. Make sure it's running clear, and then run it from a height to get the aeration that I want to get the yeast to work quicker. And that's it. I'm ready to go. Nice night of brewing. It's only taken me 3 hours. A little bit of mess to clean up, but sure, I can do that tomorrow. Forget it all now. Everything's been cleaned along the way, really. I'll just dip some things in Star San and get rid of this one, and probably do one final video just to show where it's been put and the bubbler on top, and see if we can see any action from the yeast. It's running clear now. Looks good. Tasted a little bit. Tastes great. Had a minor problem with the wort chiller. I need to find the connection that goes with the hose. Just dripping down the side of it. To get a bit of a towel underneath here. But sure, I was going to do that anyway. Just use some old washing that's going in the wash anyway. No big deal. And I'm running this in as vigorously as I can now because I want to aerate it as much as I can. But that said, I appear to be getting some of it on the kitchen drawers, which is not cool, so I'll have to think about that for next time. Maybe a sheet of cling film on the side, just move it a bit nearer in or something. Seems to be running inwards a bit. It's just kind of annoying, but I can pull it off a little bit more. Right, that's nearly finished now, so I'm just going to take the old hydrometer, dip it in the Star San, fingers in there, give it a swish about, shake it off, rinse it. I'm not rinsing it at all actually, I'm just shaking it off. I've got my test here. That's going to go everywhere when I do that, so I'm going to pour a bit of that in. And here we go. Sure, what the heck. Spilled a little bit. And what are we reading? We don't know because it's not focused. Okay, that is reading 10:52. That's really bizarre because that's exactly what the last one read. That is 10:52 on there. It's really annoying, you can't see it. This is nearly finished. So it looks like we're going to end up with a beer of about just under 6% again. Yeah. Brilliant. And it tastes really good. Okay, I'm using GV12 ale yeast, formulated to produce exceptional results with rapid fermentation for most beer recipes. Sprinkle on the top, don't stir it, and that's it. There's some Muntons yeast, Gervin GV12. There's 11 grams of it. Shove that onto me wort, and pop the lid on the bubbler, and away we go. Okay, it's 25 to 10, and it's taken me precisely 3 hours and 35 minutes from top to bottom to get the equipment ready from scratch, brewed, sanitized, and here it is. And it should be bubbling away soon, I would imagine. Yeast is pitched in. It's a darker colour, I can see already. There isn't the same kind of protein floating about as I had in brew number 1, which was also an exceedingly good IPA. And I'm imagining that's because this time round I got the wharf lock in 10 minutes before the boil end. I got the copper wort in at the same time, so that was also very good. Using the star sand was just cut down the time by about, I'd say about an hour and a half of faffing around. Just need to get the system fractionally better in terms of organising where I put my boiler in relation to where I'm going to chill it for the hose coming through the window. But the whole kitchen is clean and done and dusted, and all the surfaces I just need to dry there. Everything's done, and there is nothing left to do but leave this puppy to brew on, and she looks great. Everything's fallen down to the bottom already. It's about a centimetre there. Nice foam on the top. I've got star sand in the bubbler. I've done everything by the book, and it took me 3 hours and 35 minutes. And apart from doing things to make the experience more relaxing, I don't think you can cut the time down much more than that. And I've fed the kids and done everything. I'm just fucking brilliant. That's not true.